It was a Friday afternoon, the final period of a mundane calculus class, yet the air was thick with anticipation. Spring break was on the horizon, and the usual academic rigor had given way to a relaxed atmosphere. Our teacher, known for his easygoing demeanor, had us engaged in a brand logo quiz on an online trivia site. I distinctly recall the moment the normalcy shattered. My friend had just correctly identified a popular athletic brand when the principal's voice, strained with urgency, boomed through the intercom. "This is not a drill. All staff, initiate lockdown procedures immediately." A wave of cold dread washed over me, raising goosebumps on my arms. Our usually jovial teacher transformed, his face etched with panic as he scrambled to extinguish the lights and direct us to the furthest corner of the room. We huddled in silence, the only sound our ragged breathing. After what felt like an eternity, the low hum of the fluorescent lights ceased, plunging the room into near total darkness and confirming that the school's power had been cut. A collective, unspoken realization settled amongst us. This was truly serious. Minutes later, a blood-curdling scream tore through the silence, echoing from the hallway outside our classroom. Two of my classmates began to sob, their fear contagious. The screams grew louder, closer, punctuated by violent banging against the lockers. A man's voice, raw with uncontrolled rage, bellowed, "I'll kill all of you." It was then that genuine terror seized me. My teacher frantically shushed us, his own fear palpable. The banging moved, now assaulting our classroom door. One of the crying girls let out a piercing shriek, a sound that seemed to fuel the assailant's fury. He pounded relentlessly, screaming, "Open up!" The two girls' sobs escalated into uncontrolled wails. Time stretched, an agonizing eternity as the man continued his assault. Finally, the banging receded, his deranged screams fading as he moved further down the corridor. Approximately 10 minutes later, though it felt like an hour, the principal's voice returned to the intercom, his tone now calmer but still grave. He explained the situation. An individual, seemingly mentally disturbed, had breached the school's security, assaulting a front office staff member who had fled in terror. The staff was unsure if the intruder was armed. This incident occurred before the implementation of modern security systems, leaving the school vulnerable. A thorough sweep of the premises had failed to locate the man, so teachers were instructed to resume classes, keeping doors locked and students confined. The most disturbing revelation came later. A night janitor discovered the man asleep in a storage closet at the far end of the school. Rumors circulated among students that a large caliber handgun protruded from his pocket. It's believed the janitor inadvertently woke him, as by the time law enforcement arrived, the man had vanished. To this day, my classmates and I have no knowledge of whether he was ever apprehended. I can only hope he received the help he so desperately needed. My school operated on a 2-lunch system, the first for younger students, the second for the older grades. It was early October, a day shrouded in a heavy, overcast sky, with a persistent drizzle tapping against the windows. During the first lunch period, a series of 4 deafening booms rattled the cafeteria. My initial thought was thunder, but the immediate panicked screams from the younger students told a different story. Campus security burst in, shouting for everyone to evacuate to the multipurpose room. Those still in line for food were forced to abandon their trays and rush inside. My friends and I joined the throng, a mixture of confusion and fear swirling amongst us. Our multipurpose room is vast, with an entire wall made of transparent glass. As we were herded in, Security personnel frantically began drawing heavy curtains across the glass, while other adults stood guard at every exit. My friend Eric, ever the curious one, managed to corner an adult and inquire about the commotion. He returned, his face pale, and relayed the chilling news. "You know those houses across from the school?" he began, and I nodded. "There's a man, mentally unstable, who's barricaded himself in his house. He's threatening to kill himself and any police who try to evict him." Eric added that the man had been seen earlier, lurking outside the school, watching the children in a deeply unsettling manner. To make matters worse, we later learned he was a registered sex offender. We remained confined in that room for a full hour, missing 2 class periods. The tension was palpable, a silent understanding of the danger just beyond the walls. After what felt like an eternity, the situation was finally resolved, and we were escorted back to our classrooms one by one. Later, I discovered that this man lived next door to my friend Brandy. She recounted a disturbing incident from the previous Halloween. She had seen him at his window, cutting his arm and writing in his own blood, "Don't come here, or I'll kill you." Of course, on Halloween, everyone, including Brandy, dismissed it as a morbid holiday prank. But after the lockdown, we knew the truth. This man was truly disturbed, and we were profoundly grateful he never managed to get close to any of us. At 22, fresh out of university, I landed an internship at my old high school, working in the computer department located in the school's sprawling, chaotic basement. While most of the basement was a labyrinth of forgotten equipment, our small 3-person office was a sanctuary. 3 spacious desks, 2 mini fridges, a wall-mounted flat-screen TV, and most importantly, blissful air conditioning, a luxury unheard of for students and most teachers. This was also the nerve center for all school servers and network infrastructure. My former computer teachers, who had become more like mentors, adored me and were instrumental in securing this position. Life was good until a few weeks ago. My 2 colleagues, Dave and Gary, were upstairs handling some paperwork, leaving me alone in the office, enjoying my lunch. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was a call from the front office, a woman's voice tight with panic, informing me that the school was on lockdown. An armed intruder, she said, had entered the building. My options were limited. The office, for all its comforts, lacked a proper door, just a wide archway. The main basement door, a heavy, creaking behemoth, had a broken lock. For my own safety, I killed the lights in the office and shut down my computer screen, plunging my immediate surroundings into darkness. I kept my phone on my desk, frantically texting Dave and Gary, but received no reply. I sat there, playing games on my phone in the dark for what felt like an eternity, waiting for the all clear. I couldn't hear anything from upstairs, the basement acting as a soundproof tomb. I was explicitly told not to make any calls until the lockdown was officially over. Then, the silence was shattered. The noisy basement door creaked open, its groan echoing through the cavernous space and into my office. I tensed, half rising from my chair, wondering if it was Dave or Gary. I desperately wanted information. Footsteps began to descend the stairs, growing louder, closer, heading directly towards my office. I shoved my chair aside and scrambled under my desk, my heart hammering against my ribs. Someone entered the office, but the lights remained off. A terrifying silence descended. The fear was paralyzing. I felt that any sudden movement, any sound would seal my fate. Suddenly, my phone dinged. A text message. My world constricted. I clenched my teeth, trying to suppress a whimper. The footsteps moved closer, directly towards my hiding spot. In a moment of sheer terror and capitulation, I lunged out from under the desk, begging whoever it was not to kill me. A hand grabbed my arm, pulling me up. It was a man, dressed in a red plaid shirt, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. He said, his voice calm, "It's okay. I'm just hiding down here with you." I whispered, "What's going on upstairs?" He seemed to ignore my question, instead asking if there was an exit nearby. I pointed. "Yeah, that way." Before he could move, I pressed him. "Who are you?" There was a brief, unsettling pause. Before he explained, he was a parent, here to pick up his son, and a teacher had told him to hide. As he spoke, I glanced at my phone. The text was from Dave. "Dude, this is insane. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Henderson. He's wearing a red shirt and hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." My stomach dropped. I looked up at the man in the red plaid shirt and hat, his eyes meeting mine. He seemed to sense my dawning horror. Panicked, I bolted for the stairs. A gunshot cracked through the basement, the bullet ricocheting off something metallic in the darkness behind me. Thank God. It missed. I burst upstairs, where police officers were waiting at every exit, including the basement. They apprehended the man the moment he emerged. Mr. Henderson, our teacher, survived the gunshot. It was later revealed that the man and Mr. Henderson had some unresolved conflict, though the specifics were never disclosed. All I know is that the sound of that gunshot and the chilling realization in the basement will forever echo in my mind.